What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Algorand today. This one comes to us at the request of Sadraman. I think that's how you say it. You want to know what my realistic price prediction is for 2025, and honestly, I don't have one realistic price prediction. I have two, or maybe a few. Who knows? If we were to break all-time highs, it would be obviously higher than this. I think that a realistic price prediction could be anywhere from around $7 to $23, and yes, I do think that that's possible, and probably likely more close to the $7 area than the $23 area. But anything's possible. But and let me just see before I say my butts here. Be a 200 and something X. The current market cap of Algorand is 870 billion. A 100x would, or sorry, 870 million. I'm sorry. A 100x would put it at 87 billion. So 200x would be over $100 billion. That's a bit of a stretch, but it's not completely impossible. But it might not break its all-time high. It might set an ultimate lower high, and maybe it never sees that all-time high again. And I do think that that's equally as possible. And I would say it's a 50-50 chance that you go up from here. And the reason why I say that is because I know Algorand had all its hype. It had its day. It's done well in its time, but it's very new. It only came about in 2019. There are a lot of cryptos that saw a market cap in the tens of billions of dollars, just like this one did. And it was in the top 100 for one bull cycle, and then to never be seen again. Never be seen again. Yes, it pumped up and it had a nice miraculous rally, but ultimately it would have a lower high on like some cryptos. And most cryptos don't even get that. Most cryptos just kind of have a very weak relief rally, and they just death spiral all the way down to nothingness. Could Algorand be one of them? I think it could. I think it's completely possible that it could. The most volume that you've ever seen on this chart did come in at the all-time highs. You double bottomed here, and there's no volume coming in. There's just no interest at all. Let's go to Algo on Binance to be sure, because Binance does have the most volume in the world, so that their volume ratings would be more. And again, most volume came in at the all-time highs, and I'm not counting this as the all-time highs. I would count this as the all-time highs. And we do look like we want to go lower. Now, going lower again does not condemn this thing to never be able to see all-time highs again. It's got a decent circulating supply compared to its total max supply. Full dilution would put it just a little bit above where it is now, about, I guess that'd be 30% or so, just a little bit less than 30%, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8. It'd be about 25%, I guess, something like that. But the thing is, there's no guarantee that this thing is going to go above this all-time high. It's only seen one bull market, one bear market, right? And at the current point in time, I'm not too impressed with the price. There are a lot of coins that came about in the last bull market that are doing much better than this right now. Does that condemn this thing? No, it doesn't. But there are very few coins that are this close to their oversold zone on the monthly. I don't like that. Not only is it presenting weakness in the price action, but it's presenting weakness in the RSI as well. Looking at it on the weekly, in the immediate term time frames, I do think that we are going to go down. I do think that we do break this low, and that's okay. Again, that doesn't condemn it. But where, to kind of keep things on track here, where do I see this thing going by the end of 2025, by the end of this bull market? Where could we see it topping off? It's hard to say. If I was to guess, and it were to break its all-time high, let's say first that it goes down from here. I want to get kind of like a fib that might help us understand where it could go. I don't know. Let's say it only goes off of this extension here, from bottom to top. Okay. Let's say it goes to about 7.9 cents, maybe 6.9 cents, somewhere in that range, okay? And let's measure a fib from its all-time high to that. We'll put it right at the 1272 to be conservative, okay? So from there, if this thing goes down that low, which I think it has a solid chance of doing that, from there, you can see a high by 2025, by the end of 2025, a high that is around $8 to $28. That is a big range, but it's the range that we're given, and I would say this is probably less likely, this is probably more likely, and even more likely is probably somewhere in between. probably closer to the 1272, because this would be a pretty high market cap for something, you know. If it proves legitimacy and it, like something big happens with it, then sure, it could achieve that price, no problem. But it is relatively new, and there are a lot of impressive cryptos out there that come out for one cycle, and they are just so impressive. They promise the future, and they want to give it to you, and then they're just never heard of again. It's a story told time and time again, not just in crypto, but in stocks as well. So where could we go from here? You know, besides going a little bit lower, ultimately I think that a price around $8 to $13 to $28, that's totally possible. On the flip side to that, if we don't break the all-time highs, if we do in fact find turbulence at the 618, like dramatic turbulence, we have a hard time getting above it, this could be it. We might only see a 75-cent Algorand. That might be the height by 2025. If it were to see turbulence on the 618, not once, not twice, but 3 times, you know, you might see the 786 or the 886 come into play, which is higher than 75 cents, granted, but that's still below all-time highs. That would be around $1.40 to around $2, somewhere in that range, you know. And again, this is all with the idea that maybe it goes a little bit lower from here, and it's kind of hard to say where it is. So like if it were to go lower than the low that I just had it at, which was about 8 cents, if it were to go lower than this, then these numbers only get bigger. The 1272 and the 886, or the extensions only get bigger. However, if it goes lower, then these retracements only go lower. So it's kind of hard to say at the current point in time. I do think that we go lower, but will Algorand break its all-time highs? That's a serious question to ask, man. That's honestly, you know, there's not a whole lot of interest coming in down here, and that has me a little bit worried. Where there's, let's see, I mean, let's go to Shiba, right? Shiba USD. When did this thing come about? Okay, it came about in 2021. Shiba, we're going to go on, I don't know. Let's do it on Kraken. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. Shiba's not a good example either, honestly. I don't know. Maybe Ethereum Classic. No, Ethereum Classic's not new. What else is new? Avalanche, AVAX maybe. Let's see. In comparison, AVAX isn't looking too hot either, man. I don't know. What would be another one? Hit me with something. Solana, probably Solana, right? Sol has to be looking good, right? Yeah. Okay. Here. Totally different story, right? Where you can see the last few that I was trying to find an example on. This one actually has a higher low than its low here. And I mean, yes, its low set over here. This is lower than that, but you can see a lot of volume. The difference. Look at the difference, man. The volume was not at the high. The volume came in at the low, and we're doing bullish things right now. Where AVAX, not so much, man. Algorand, not so much, and that's not condemning, but it is concerning. Concerning to the point of, again, the question being, will this even break its all-time high? And at this point in time, I'm kind of inclined to think that it might not. And if it were to not break its all-time high, if we were to assume that it still performs well, but it doesn't break its all-time high, we could see a price anywhere, again, from about $2 to 70 cents around the 618 there, you know, or maybe, like, who knows? It depends on where this low is. So I would say 70 cents to $2 might be the likely range. That's what, you know, if I had to guess, I'd probably say somewhere in there. That is a big range. But if it does break its all-time high, it's likely going to go around $8 to $15 to $30 even, you know, somewhere in that range. Probably closer to $8 than anything, though. It's got a lot of work to do. I'm just trying to be fair here and be honest. You know, let's say that was the low. Let's say it doesn't go lower than that. You still got to interact with this 618, the purple line up here. You really have to break this convincingly and show that you do want to see extensions. And how you would do that, you know, you would make a move, something like this, right? You'd go up to the 382, whatever, construct. Maybe you reject it on the first pass. You come back down, bounce, and then break through it on the second pass. Maybe you break through it on the first pass. Maybe you do your little wig-wag, whatever. Sorry, that was, you know, just imagine I'm wig-wagging here, but you break it on your first pass. What you don't want to see is a rejection, come back up, reject again, and then come back up. If you see something like that, I very much doubt you're going to go up high. What you're more likely going to do if you get 2 rejections off of this, and then on the third time you break through it, likely you're going to find resistance somewhere in the 886 to the 786 range, wherever that ends up being. If that's the low, cool, it's there. If not, it's going to be a little bit lower. And I would say to a high degree of likelihood that if you see something like this, two bouts of resistance on the 618, wherever this low falls, that would be very condemning, in my opinion. It's not completely condemning. It's not a guarantee. It still has a chance to go up into these extensions. It could go up even higher. Who knows? But that's something that Algorand is going to battle with, and it looks like it's going to be around, between 70 and 78 cents, somewhere in that range, that this battle is going to happen. And wouldn't you know it, that if we put a line right here at the 618, and again, if this low isn't the low and it only goes lower before bouncing up, this 618 is only going to get lower. But for where it is right now, this is currently previous where we were at the all-time high zone here, right? This is kind of like your shelf of the all-time high. This 618 is right there at the base of it where we found support. And if we topped on the coming bull cycle right there, that would be extremely bearish, showing resistance on previous areas of support that brought us to all-time highs. Now you're showing resistance on those same areas. That would not be good. And again, this line could be lower even. It might be there that you find your resistance. Who knows? But if I'm just being frank and I'm not being coy at all, I would say I'm kind of skeptical if Algorand does break its all-time high. I'm not trying to be blasphemous. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm just, I've been in crypto for more than just one bear market now, and I have seen plenty of coins that were in the top 100, that were in the top 200, that they don't exist anymore. I mean, they still technically exist, but they just don't exist anymore. They had a lot of hype. People made songs about them, little parodies about them on YouTube. They had partnerships with IBM. They had partnerships with telephone companies in Africa. Like they were going to change the world, man. And I'm sure they meant to. They show you videos of their offices, like that they're a legitimate project and all this stuff. And Algorand could be a very legitimate project, but that doesn't mean anything, man. If it can't gain user base, if it can't gain popularity, this is ultimately a popularity contest. And yes, technological advancement does matter, but sometimes even the most technologically advanced things, like Bitcoin Cash, is a perfect example. Bitcoin Cash is better than Bitcoin from a technological standpoint. It is, but Bitcoin's ranked number 1. Bitcoin Cash is ranked number 18. You can be the faster, cheaper to send currency. And that doesn't matter. If you're not the most popular one, you're not gonna have that ground to gain. And I think Bitcoin Cash, I wouldn't really compare Algorand to that. I think Bitcoin Cash is gonna do fantastic in this coming bull market. But a lot of these coins, man, like your Avalanches, your Shiba Inus, your Polkadots, your whatever Tone coin is, your H-bar even, man. Your let's see, Aptos, Aave. I kind of like Aave, to be fair, but the Graph, like all these coins that came about and they're really just popular because of the last bull market. There's going to be new coins that are going to try and do these things, but they're going to do it better, and they're going to gain more popularity, and they're the new hip thing, man, that everybody's going to get into. And they're going to get into it because they're new. Whatever these coins are, I don't know their names yet. We're going to figure it out in the coming bull market. They're going to get popular because they're new and they pump dramatically more than these old ones do. And the only reason that these guys are on the top 100 right now is because they were the new hot shit back in the old bull market here, and they pumped dramatically more than the old hot shit did, which was, the previous the previous bull market had an Algorand. The previous bull market had a I don't know, let's find an ape coin, whatever, and nobody knows what their names are now. I forget Ontology. Nobody here probably knows what Ontology is. I bet none of you guys have heard of Electronium or Credits. Or I can't think of anything else. Everybody's probably forgotten about BitConnect, but that was a total scam. But there are coins. I believe NIU was a coin. It was supposed to be like the next big thing in technological advancements. Key. Anybody remember Key who's been around, man? There are so many coins that were supposed to do really good things, and they're nothing now, man. Let's see what Ontology's doing. Actually, on that note, I'm kind of curious. Ontology, number 182. At least it's still in the top 200. But this thing was supposed to do good things, man. It was supposed to be hand in hand with Neo. Anybody remember Neo? Neo's still in the top 100, right? Yeah, number 70. Neo was supposed to be the Ethereum killer. And here it is at the top 70. It's below Algorand, you know. But at least Neo has a history behind it, you know. At least Neo has been around for more than just one cycle. It's been around for two, you know. It's been around not quite as long as I have, but almost as long as I have. But you know, Neo itself was supposed to be the Ethereum killer. A lot of people were worried about that, and look at what it did. It did a lower high in its second bull cycle. Could Algorand have a lower high in its second bull cycle? I think it's possible, man. I think it's not even possible. I think it's likely. There's still a solid chance that it could go higher, but I'm just making a long video right now talking about the fact that this could happen, but I don't think it will. And before I just keep repeating myself, I guess that's all I'm going to say. You know, it's okay to invest in things like this that are new and that, you know, don't really have a pre-designated course for it. You know, this thing could do fantastic things. I don't know. But I would more, in my opinion, if I was looking to invest in altcoins, I would feel safer investing somewhere in the top like 50, which Algorand technically is, and look for coins that have been around for more than just one cycle. Look for coins that have been around for more than just one cycle, because those are going to be safer bets, in my opinion. Especially coins that have been around for more than one cycle that are having higher high, higher low bases. If it's not having a higher high basis, at least have that higher low, you know, like Litecoin, right? LTC, USD, it didn't break its previous all-time high, but it also hasn't given up this higher low structure. So will it break its all-time high here in the coming cycle? I think it will. I really do think it will. Is it going to gain a lot? You know, maybe, maybe not. I don't know if Litecoin's a 100xable coin. For Litecoin to be worth 100x, you'd have to go all the way up to about what is that up there? About $9,500. So is it a 100xable coin from here? I don't think so. Is it a 25xable coin? Yeah, sure. Is it a 50xable coin? Maybe. Who knows? You know. But 25x, something like that, I could see that for Litecoin. But again, Litecoin, something that's been around longer than anything we've talked about so far, it didn't even go higher than its previous high from its previous bull market. You know what I mean? What gives Algorand the right to do that? Because it was a hype coin, because it was something that everybody was really excited about, you know, like that promised to do whatever, and I'm sure they still promise to do it, and I'm not trying to dog their legitimacy at all. I've just seen plenty of legitimate projects that lose their traction, they lose their ground, they lose their momentum, and inevitably they just do this death spiral that everything does, you know, and that's because money, the interest, the retail investors, they go on to the next big thing that's pumping dramatically, you know, and that's, you normally only get that like whenever you've come out with something new. Algorand is old news now, so will it maintain its status? Will it still have utility? Will it be something that people are still interested in? That's something to be seen. And beyond that, you know, if we're looking at the price, again, the 618, wherever this low comes in, that orange line there, that 618 is going to be a very important level to test that will tell us if we're going to break this all-time high. And I will keep you guys informed on it as we go, but that's a long ways away, and this is going to be a tough battle indeed. So before I just keep saying the same things over and over again, I'm going to end it there. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.